5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's life and such, guys?
It's good.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty good.
Green, and by green I mean the color.
Spring break
Lol.
just ended, so I'm a little bummed about going back to school.
Spring break just
Yeah,
started
I
for
bet.
me.
Oh, cool.
Go
You guys
die.
are all
I
lucky.
still have like
have
a month before it starts for me.
You guys.
Spring break
Alright,
is the
your
last
spring
week
break
of
is
March.
like barely
Spring break.
Spring
Spring break started for me in the winter.
Yeah, my spring break's like in summer.
Yeah.
My
Mine was
spring
too.
break is summer.
Back when-
They just decided to combine spring break and summer and give you an extra week of summer at the cost of spring break.
Wait, what?
I've heard people do that before.
Wait.
Kinda stupid,
Sprummer.
if you ask me.
Sprummer break.
That's gonna make figuring
Springer
out.
break.
That's gonna make figuring out the daylight saving time a whole nother situation.
Bar. It's not Sprummer. It's Springer.
Wow,
Jimmy
just
Springer.
Just gonna say.
the newest Hero Factory hero.
Oh my! What weapon does he have? Not a guitar.
Got the weapon that does the stuff with the other stuff and some of the other stuff that does stuff with stuff and the stuff.
Oh, stuff your mouth.
Thanks
No.
for being intelligent people, guys.
You will
No,
stuff
kidding.
his mouth. All right, that was
No,
that was the
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did say that.
I
You
said,
did
oh,
say that.
I said, oh, stuff your mouth, as like a variant of shut your mouth. Okay, let's just get this on with.
Okay, on that note,
Cover
on
up the
that
screw
note,
up.
time to tell you all what you already know. I'm Messinek.
I'm Barteran.
I'm LJ.
I'm Alina.
I'm Kahi.
And I'm still that guy in the back who happens to be named Keeney.
And this is TTV episode 27. Ta-da-da.
Yeah.
Even though the convo still says 26. Anyway.
Who would have thought? I don't know.
Okay, so. Well, I can already tell this is going to be the best episode we've ever recorded, guys. It's going to be great. Yes. It's going to be fantastic.
Great.
Darn, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
hoping it wouldn't be all that good. Darn.
Lol.
I don't know, is it gonna be as great as that comics contest stuff we did?
Alina,
Where Elena's supposed to read the comic?
Eh,
And the one that no one will ever hear where we discussed rebooting Bionicle.
Yep.
Well,
That was like one of the greatest
anyway,
ones.
continuing on.
Yeah, we'll hop right into our regularly scheduled stuff. The news.
The news. In the news this week we have meet the newest master model builder. Free shipping and double VIP points through Thursday. Upcoming LEGO Friends weekend in Legoland, Florida. Several LEGO.com updates. General Art Contest number 18, LEGO Battlescapes. LEGO announces 10225 R2D2. LEGO robots help scientists. And that is the news.
Well,
News. Very newsworthy.
There's a lot of stuff to talk. Who are we kidding?
well,
Newsly news.
R2D2. There's gonna be an R2D2 set.
okay, I have
With
to say,
R2D2.
depending on how I may not be that interested, but I have to agree that set's amazing reason. I looked at it; it's amazingly designed.
Didn't they already have a full-size R2-D2 set or something like that?
They had Yoda, right? I don't know if they had.
Oh, yeah,
R2.
they had Yoda, and then they had like a really old, like before Bionicle
Ah.
Technic Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
they did. They had a Lego droid set, and they had like C-3PO, and they had.
No, I remember.
It was Mindstorms. I actually own
Yeah.
the Mindstorms droids thing.
Yeah, I actually a while ago got one of those like little pit droid things, and it had a bunch of matte green parts, and it was awesome.
Oh, that's where you got
hit the nose.
the Mata Green parts
That's
from.
where I got my chest armor for my self-mark, if anyone's seen that.
I'm a pit droid. I work in a pit.
I didn't know he could like. He has the chainsaw, and he has the all the little things you can flip out.
He's a
That's
pit
actually
droid.
kinda
He got
cool.
everything.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know they included that in the model.
Yeah.
A new
Yeah.
Lego City movie titled Money Tree.
Lol.
What?
Yeah,
Yes, you idiot.
Yeah, that city thing, that's kind of interesting, I have to say. And I don't mean interesting in it's genuinely interesting way, I mean it's interesting in kind of wow. Wow, stuff.
Money Tree.
Money tree, yep. I know you're all excited for the money tree.
Man,
Oh yeah, I'm
What was that other
totally
mini
excited.
movie that they were always advertising in theaters? That was like Lego City, and I was like, really? Really?
Clutch Power.
Are you talking about
Yeah,
Clutch
yeah.
Powers? Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, by the way, for anyone who follows the Ninjago TV show,
No one.
and is a
It's not Ninjago, it's Ninjago.
No,
No,
it's Ninjago.
it's
the proper-
Ninjago.
No, it's Ninjago. I refuse to submit. I refuse.
The pronouncers. I said Lua before it was cool. Okay.
I concur.
It was never cool, Kahi. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it never was cool.
Oh, yes, it was. It was cool if I did it for 9 years. Anyway.
No, if it wasn't cool, and Kahi did it before it was cool, what does that say about Kahi? Not good thing.
He's not cool.
Not good things. It says he's a cocky.
Pronunciation.
Things aren't looking too good for him. I'm stealing Messo's line because I
I say
can.
it the correct way. All you deluded Americans.
You're
No.
American.
You're American.
I know, but
I'm the only person who's not
I was
American
taught
here.
as a-
Does that mean we're an international podcast?
We are now.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
I
are
know.
indeed.
Yeah.
We are now.
International
Like,
podcast for
we
the
had the Asian
international
guy, we
people
had
of
the
the
black guy, we had the
international world.
Mexican guy.
Yeah, the international world. I
I think-
agree with this.
I think we've even interviewed people from other places, like Gallagher. I think he was.
Yeah,
in,
we interviewed Lee Gallagher, which you need to upload, by the way.
Lol. I have not uploaded it to the channel yet. Correct.
Yeah.
oh, well.
We
Yeah,
let's see. Who else did we interview? We interviewed Lee Gallagher and
Randy Elliott.
yeah, Randy
Yeah.
Elliott. He's American though, wasn't he?
He was American.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's an American.
Yep. Randy Elliott was a cool bro. Gotta say.
Yep,
They both were.
Anyway, this isn't our memory lane episode. We'll
Yes,
have one
it
of
is. It is now.
Yeah, I want one of those. No, anyway.
Walking down memory lanes.
IDDP guys, let's go back to the days when I sounded like I had a higher pitched voice than Messo because
Oh
I did.
God, let's not. And say we
That's
did.
not. Dude,
Esther,
there's some
my
memories
one
associated with the
special
time, but I'm sure
ID.
people here don't want to relive.
Let's go back to the days when we and Najee didn't hate each other completely.
I don't remember those
You
days.
already are.
Let's go back
They were
to the
right at the-
days where there were no arguments ever. Oh wait, those don't exist.
Yeah.
No, VAR, they do, but only in religious texts, which we're not gonna get into because it's banned on BZP.
Quite.
Well,
One more thing about that Lego
Nice.
City money tree thing, and also in the article it contains two other things. The Marvel Superheroes website is now up, and then also Lloyd Garmadon has started his own blog, and I believe this is written by Greg Forshting, if all reports are true.
But Messo, neither of those
Crocodile?
are as important as Money Tree. This is the movie we've all been waiting for our entire lives.
It's
Money
the-
Tree, come on, guys.
It's the movie.
It's gonna be,
It's
it's
the Lego.
gonna be as life changing as Inception.
It's the Lego movie we missed.
Yep.
well, let's not start this.
Too late. It's been started.
Oh, LJ, you and your self-control.
No, what's self-control?
Also, I'm still looking at this. I don't
Exactly.
think it was written by Greg.
Greg can adapt his styles in many a way, good sir.
Okay, that is true,
He's
but
like
I don't know.
chameleon.
But,
He's
I'm
Leonardo
not
da
sure if
Vinci
it was
in
or
books.
not. I'm not sure if it was written by him or not, and I could be wrong. That's just what my current understanding of the situation is. He's also apparently been contracted to write Hero Factory short stories,
Oh god.
LOL.
Yeah.
Hmm.
which
Right,
may or may
so,
not get put up. So,
Here's something I sort of have to ask. You know the newest master model builder thing, right? It says here that he's working at the Legoland Discovery Center in Chicago, which I recently visited. Now, the
Yep.
thing I have to wonder is that, what does he actually do there? Why didn't he need a new master builder there?
I know, right?
Good question.
I'll tell you this. Okay, I've been there. There are two things. Oh, not two. I mean, I don't really see what he needs a master builder for. There's like a tour of how someone makes a Lego brick, which like anybody can give. You don't need to be a builder to do that. There's a movie. There's like just a lot of exhibits of Lego models, I guess. So, but you don't really need a master builder to do that if they're already there. There's a station where you can create like cars and stuff, but that's about it. And the only thing that uses master builders is this one like appointment set thing, which they teach kids how to build a set from pre-made instructions. Like they have this sort of set thing with ready-made instructions, and the kids will build off that set.
What the heck?
Why exactly do they need a
But
master builder?
Kahi, you never
I mean,
know.
like,
They could be either
I could do that.
expanding it, or that tour could require master builder thing.
Or it could just
Thing.
Why would it
I
require
remember when I
master
went. I remember
like,
when I
you
went to
follow
Legoland,
instructions. I do that every
California.
time
They
I
had
go.
an exhibit where they showed how they made a Lego brick, and all of the things that they showed were made out of Lego.
Kenny,
Except
you
for
went
a
to
few
Legoland,
miles.
California?
Yes,
Southern?
Elena, I
Oh, cool.
have a long time ago, and no, I'm not going back. Mostly because you live there.
I
You're
know.
not going back. I'm never going
Kenny, it
back.
means at some point
I'm never
we're
going
less
back.
than an hour away from each other. At some
Oh, God.
point.
That
What
scares me even more than knowing that my country is right next to your country.
Nah, that doesn't scare.
It's right next to your country. Oh, really? Really?
Well, I don't know. You never know. There are probably some people out there, and I'm not gonna say they're American, but they probably are, who don't know that Canada's right next to America.
Wow!
Actually,
Missing America.
Okay, so now
on
you've
TV,
insulted
everybody.
insulted.
The crown has been thrown.
Yep.
Time
Insulting
I
people
do
in
remember
countries
hearing
left
that,
and
like,
right, because that's what Kenny does.
But, like,
World War
Half
III
American
started because
communities
Keeney
do not
Hawkeye
know
dissed
heavy
America on a podcast about toys.
Wait a second. World War
Wow.
III? That's like in Modern Warfare 3.
Find back
No,
girls,
LJ,
guys.
no.
Find back- we gotta
Oh my
find.
god.
We gotta find
World War
girls.
III will be fought with our minds and troll faces and the internet, not with guns.
Dang it!
We'll settle our disputes through Call of Duty and Halo Reach.
Yeah, you see, in World War
Yeah,
III,
like-
no one actually dies. It's all virtual.
Yeah.
Lol, virtual.
No, that one we'll have like a Modern Warfare 3 tournament where a bunch of like German people go up against a bunch of American people, and whoever wins ends up losing the war.
Wait, whoever wins ends up losing the war. Okay.
Wow, I'm
Yes.
impressed.
Because
What,
it's
if-
because even though they won, they technically win the war, but they just lost the war because they did it through a game, and that's just pathetic. Anyways, who we got?
Dude, that's fake. Yeah, that's fake. It'd be more fake. Oh, well.
Really?
What are you even talking about before this? Before World War III?
I don't know what we're talking about anymore, to be fairly honest.
Okay.
Me neither.
We were just
I-
talking about Master
Give it the
Builder.
news. Yeah,
I'm
Master Builder.
scared.
Yeah.
All right, one more
News.
thing before we leave the news. The final thing. How about that there general art contest, guys?
There's an art contest.
That's exactly what Var said.
They get more
No, that's what I
characters.
said. I was like, wow, really? An art contest and I didn't know about this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
Like the comics contest was on the top of the news for 4 days.
Because it's Vader.
The art contest doesn't even have a news thing.
By the
Well,
way,
yeah, it
It
does.
does.
It does now.
by the
It's
way,
just-
since we recorded the thingamabob,
No.
the coverage before,
No.
You're not
But-
allowed.
but
Sorry, can't do that, LJ. We're not allowed. No,
on Samiki
it's
did it,
illegal. It's illegal, LJ.
but
What are you even gonna say?
Well, the winners. Does any?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
The
Winners,
winners of the contest, first place, Yumi Island by
Second place, how does detecting solve anything? By Bionic Flip.
And third place, Light Keepers.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, no. In actuality, first place was City of Wretches. Second place was Yumi Island, and third place was A Dark Deed by Tevika.
No, seriously. We all know LJ won second place.
Yeah, because he's a professional at everything he does.
And by
And we're all proud of him, and we wish that he would just shut up about the fact that he won already.
And I wish that he would get a better prize than Premier membership.
I know, that's quite a lame
That was
prize.
that was, you know, it's cool when you don't have Premiere and you want Premiere,
Wait,
but that's just
LJ, you already have Premier, didn't you?
Exactly. You see, my premiere actually was supposed to run out last month, and I told Winrider this, but it was generally disregarded. But oh well, you know, I guess I can take.
So can't you get something else though?
That's what he thought.
Well, you see, the thing is, I didn't subscribe for lifetime, so. Well,
Yeah.
Here, the thing is, I guess I can take away two things from this. One, I'm the only person who gets to say I got second place in the first comic contest. And two,
And two, maybe Steph needs to get better prizes. No, I'm kidding.
nah. And two,
They do though.
yes, you could say that I was one of the 3 quote-unquote beta testers for the shop.
That is true.
Because, you see, even though I'm sure the shop has been used before, this is the first time, Black Six said that it was like the first time they'd done that.
Y'all.
And,
Wait, what shop? What are you talking about?
The BZP shop that I forgot about until now.
yeah.
That exists?
That exists, and that's what I had to use. They gave me a code for 6 months of membership, and this would be like a free pass. So I get 6 months free, and so I entered the code, and it worked beautifully. So I premiered.
I never even knew that existed. Wait, hold up. Can someone link this to me?
It's actually on the forums. Just look like up.
Yeah, it's one of the forum, like the little like navigational things where you have blogs and forum and all that. There's actually a thing that says silver.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
And I expect
The more you know.
Yeah,
The more you know.
I suspect they'll expand it to include other things than Premier membership in the future.
Like BZPower T-shirts for showing up at events, maybe.
Yeah, and stupid stuff.
No, dude, we'll get like a little Hapori Tohu bobblehead. Oh wait!
Oh my god.
He's only a head.
Wow.
You can just have the entire like thing be see-through and transparent. And then there's his head floating.
That'd be creepy. It's like the creepiest bobblehead you'd ever have.
That'd be the greatest bobblehead ever. Just wake up one morning and it's completely dark in your room. You look over and there's a Porito.
That'd be great.
That'd be scary. Oh well.
It'd
But,
be
yeah.
fantastic.
So, is there anything else in the news?
Literally, well, not literally nothing, but nothing else that I have interest in talking about.
Yeah, I don't really have...
It went on for a pretty good bit for being mediocre.
You're mediocre.
You're mediocre.
I mean...
No, you're mediocre!
No!
No, you're both mediocre. Now let's get on with this because I gotta leave right away, sadly.
Lol, really? Really?
I told you guys I had to leave at 4, and then my
You
Skype died.
have to leave at 5.
Well, we're leaving at 5, but apparently we're doing birthday presents and such now, and then leaving.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Presents. Well, KK then.
Wait. We gotta give Keeney a happy birthday, farewell. No, I'm joking.
Yes, we do.
Happy birthday, farewell. Happy birthday to you. We all hate you.
Hold up, LJ's not leaving right now. Come on. Yeah.
I
Happy
mean,
birthday, dear Keeney.
It's Keeney's
Done.
birthday.
On the 22nd, yes. Now go away.
Lol.
But yeah, now that the news is over, we can now progress into the best segment of them all.
I'll
Bye.
play the music, and then I'm leaving it, okay?
You have 19 minutes. Come on, man.
No, I don't. I have to leave right away.
I see.
So, yeah. I'll
I
play the
see.
music, and then I'll leave. Oh, look, Kakahi dropped out. Anyways.
Lol. That's unfortunate. Okay,
Didn't even
so
notice.
we shall now
Anyway.
move into our next segment. Brought to attention.
Attention.
Must I ask, what's up with the weird, like, laughing and that?
It's cool and such. That's all you need to know.
Oh, turn
I don't know.
Everybody's
To
going,
me, it's just creepy.
everything's going retro, you know? We got that 815 song, we got the Steel Samurai, we got Tetris. Yeah, everything's just going like, you know, NES retro.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, so, hello everyone, I'm Messinac, as you already know, because I said so at the beginning of the episode. Let's get right to it and look at what's going to be brought to attention today. So,
Wow,
in the
fun.
absence... yeah, I know, right? In the absence of anything that's, absolutely revolutionary or something that angers me, that I have to rant about, I'm just going to do what we rarely do and talk about an interesting topic in general discussion. Because I found this interesting and thought I would like to get you guys' perspectives on this. And by perspectives, well, you'll soon see. So this topic is in GD, and it's made by BZP member Raya. It's called Favorite Moments on BZP. BZP has evolved over the last decade for better and for worse. When I first revisited the new site, it got me thinking of what my favorite moments were on this site. So here I am asking you guys, what are your favorite moments from your BZPower history? Personally, it had to be becoming a trusted trader. So that's him. He was a trusted trader.
Good moment of your life, man. You know, I'm
What
like,
a contradiction.
Anyway, so for me, if you want to get my honest opinion, I have a tie between 4 different things. And I'd have to say they're my favorite things that have happened to me in my BZP history. The first one was when I got a PM from an old friend of mine who is now unfortunately banned, so I will not mention his name. And he invited me to join a BZPower chat room. And through this chat room, well, I met a bunch of people. one of which is standing before you today, and by standing I mean talking. His name is LJ.
Oh, I hated that fight!
Meso, most of us are from that chat except for Kahi and Alina.
Yup. And then months later into the chat's lifespan, I met a Vardaran who came there one day, and him and his friends, and by his friends I mean one of his friends, invited me to join a podcast.
Well, like he invited everyone in the chat to join the podcast. That
Yep.
man was Star Peru.
And through that one invite, a can of worms was opened, the likes of which the world has never seen.
Yep.
And how things have progressed.
Started on a chat room based on BZPower where we met lols and lols and lols of lots of new people. And well, yeah, and now
Yep.
it used to be IBCP back then.
Yeah. Those were the days.
When VAR was the editor, and when VAR was the owner.
Well, and when VAR did pretty much everything.
Yep.
VAR,
And now VAR has regressed into doing absolutely nothing.
yeah, not like editing Biocrap.
I was editing Biocrap before you interrupted me with this stupid call.
I feel
Yeah,
bad
thanks.
now.
You should. Anyway, another favorite moment of mine would be the first thing I did when I joined BZP. A little thing known as the Vaki Fad.
Well, I never even participated in that, but I did participate in the card fab, which eventually led to the BZPower chat, which eventually led to IVZP, which eventually led to TTV, so.
So the Vaki Fad was pretty stupid, honestly. It was this guy that decided to change everyone's banners and avatars to Vaki, and he recruited a bunch of people to put stupid lines in their signature to make it look like they were reading off like a computer, or they were computerized. and we patrolled the forums doing absolutely nothing and making everyone believe we were actually doing stuff, and it got some people angry and a war broke out. And then the staff came and closed it down, and well, that was the end of that. And then it got restarted a year later, and it got closed down. And then it got restarted 3 months later, and then it got closed down. And now has not been in effect for like a year. So that's that. It was a pretty lolsy
It's only been a
experience.
year? It feels so much longer than that. Dude, I swear, it's like your... I saw that from far away. It was Lolsy.
That was hilarious.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it seems like we've just been doing our BZP careers for so much longer than what we really have been. Like, I feel like I've known Meso and LJ for like 5 years, but it's really only been like one.
Yep. That's actually, yeah, probably about 1.5 to 2. Yeah, it has been a pretty short amount of time. Anyway, the third and final thing that I recall that was a pretty interesting and memorable experience, because I know I said 4, but thinking back on it, the fourth one really wasn't anything big, was, ironically, if I already mentioned it, the card fest.
No!
Now, I'm sure Var could a bit of light on what exactly that was, because he was more involved in it than me.
Basically, it was just this big scavenger hunt to find cards, which would like around different Bionicle like fan sites, you could like find these cards or hidden codes to unlock cards, and they would go in your banner, and each card had like a picture of a mask, from Bionicle, and there was all supposed to be this big clue or something that they were going to eventually lead down to. That'd be a big revelation to Bionicle. So everyone was like, oh my god, we need to get these cards! So everyone searched. It was basically broke up into 2 teams. There was red team and there was blue team. Whoever got all the cards first would, get the secret first. And I was in red team. I do believe, Meso, you were in blue team.
I was indeed.
So red team, we just... Red team, we all had I don't know why, but we all had these Transformer names, I think. I don't remember why. All I know is that we had them. Yeah, and I was Varpanak, and and the Paru 411 was Starparu, and then there was Sideswipe, and yeah, so that was red team. It consisted of me, Varpanak, Starparu, Sideswipe, Makuta of Comedy, Mach, who I don't think chose a Transformer's name, Blackout, and I believe that was it. But yeah, eventually, because we had a chat dedicated to ourselves where we would talk about the card fad and research sites and figure out where the cards were. Oh yeah, we had Darius.
Well, yeah.
And eventually we started up a podcast based off BZPower, which was IBZP.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but we eventually found all the cards, and it turned out that, well, it was nothing but a giant promotion for a contest for Canoe Journal that no one ever entered in.
Yep. Literally, the contest was never even fully conducted because it had no entries. Unless I'm just horribly misinformed.
Well, I just said
I
no one
don't know.
ever entered into it.
That is true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no one ever entered it, and everyone was so angry because we were promised something big. It turned out it was just a contest, and it was like, what was the point of even winning? Like, getting all the cards first when we were just going to figure out that there was a contest that we had to enter.
I know, right? I don't really think they thought it through.
Yeah, it was really, really not very good. Not one of Canoe Journal's shining achievements, let's just say that. But it was fun while it lasted. We met some new people, and of course started the podcast. So.
Yup.
Dude, I remember
Actually,
the blues
contest
and the
was
reds
more
ended up getting
thought
into
out.
big wars and fighting each other on the topic, and the staff had to come in and stop it because we were just insulting each other.
One had a shotgun, the other had a sniper rifle. Okay, that was a real bad red versus blue reference, so I'm gonna be quiet now.
Yeah, you never do it again. But yeah, even though I wasn't as enthralled with it as Var, I was kind of in there on the sidelines observing, and it was a pretty lolsy experience.
We also had a whole epic win site that went along with it.
Yep.
Called it the Red HQ. Okay, compared to the blue team, the red team was the best team ever. Unfortunately,
That
blue
is
team won.
true. That is true.
Blue team won because they had more people, but red team had the cool stuff. Like we had a chat, we had a website, podcast, we had everything. So yeah,
Do we still have that podcast? I want to listen to it.
it was called IBZP and it's now called TTV, and you're on it.
YM? I just like to thank my mom and my dad and my brothers.
I would love to thank your mom because she gave birth to you.
So that's my memorable moments. What about you guys? Because in Brought to Attention, I don't just rant for 10 minutes. I let you rant for half the time I rant.
10 minutes.
So go ahead.
Well, for me, it was definitely the card fad, and then it was the I forgot what the disc fad. It was just like the card fad.
The disc fad.
It was just like the card fad, pretty much. You had to find these discs, or well, basically, you'd have banners. Everyone would have a banner, and on each banner they get like a certain disc, and you had to go scavenge around the forums and collect each disc until you got all the disc, and then it had some big reveal, just like the card fad, except this was a big advertisement for this new game, Metro Nui Online. That's the one made, which was actually pretty good.
So it actually was a better payout than the...
Yeah, it had a really good payout, actually. It was very well worth it.
And that game was actually reposted on the forums very recently.
I remember.
Cool.
It what? Oh,
the fan-made Metro Nui Online game.
I remember.
So yeah, that was also very fun.
And Alina?
It was quite fun. I didn't really know that there was some weird thing going on for its revelation.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just heard about it after it came out and started to play it, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty hard to find wickets in the beginning.
Lol, that's true. Fairly well-made game, though I don't recall it taking off too well. Not a lot of people really played it. But,
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of interest in it.
I played
Well, it's because I
that.
think everyone expected it to be something better than it actually was, even though the name implies Metro Nui Online game. It's going to be like the Mana Nui Online game in Metro Nui.
Well, no, it was also it was the same problem with Card Fab, was that everyone was expecting something really big and amazing, and when it turned out it was just like a little game on BZPower, because a lot of people figured it was actually something to do with the Lego in itself, like it was actually an official Bionicle thing, and
That
not
was
a fan-made thing.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't really clear that it wasn't, because everyone thought it was going to reveal something that on Bionicle, like Bionicle canon, that we didn't know before, or something like that. And it was really disappointing when it was just like a game or a contest or something made by a bunch of fans. And that's usually the problem with these fads that kind of like hide what their real purpose is. A lot of people misinterpret.
But yeah.
Oddly
Yeah,
enough,
it was-
I remember the card fad before my time, but I was on the site before I joined, like a lot of people were, and I remember the card fad. I even though I got one of those, I didn't actually get a banner, but I clicked on one of those things that said get a banner. And
No,
like I saw all the
time.
stuff you could do, and I followed the clues for a little bit. I didn't get too far, but it was an interesting concept, but I think that the contest was more thought out than the actual payout. Like the contest or whatever. The card game was more planned out, than the contest was.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
What about you, LG?
Well, since I was not, I do remember both those fads actually, but I didn't participate. My favorite moments definitely have to be both of the interviews when we interviewed Lee Gallagher and Randy Elliott.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Both Makuta Fest.
Those actually dwarf everything that I said, but
Yeah,
I was trying to
actually, that's a good point.
BZP things, actual stuff that like went on BZP.
Well, technically they were BZP things. Well, at least the the Randy Elliott one was, because we got BZPower input, which then BZPower never actually put in the news to alert the people that we used their questions.
Yeah. So everyone thinks
Still
we never
bitter
did it.
about that. So I did.
Yep.
But do you non-believe? I mean, people who don't know, we did. No.
Well,
But,
That's cool. I have those up soon, don't worry.
but both Makuta Fests, those are
Oh, yeah.
incredibly fun, and it was
Makuta Fest. Those are really good.
really enjoyable. I really had a good
I
time.
had I had a lot of stuff that.
What?
I think that's
Trying to
what
keep
we're
it
talking
to
about.
3.
They have a lot of stuff.
Kind of
Yeah.
like that, Mister.
Yeah, I have tons of stuff that I didn't even mention, like Makuta Fest and the interviews and more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good memories in BZPower. A lot of them.
Yup.
Yeah. And then definitely beating Kahi in that little comic duel we had before the comic contests even were an
Oh.
option back in the old forms.
The comic duels.
I take pride that my comics are more high quality than LJ.
I take pride that I made 17 comics in 12 hours. Thank you. No,
I remember when you
made
were in the
15,
duel with Filbert.
and they were cool.
the one with
Oh,
Phil
that was
trash.
that was hardly a deal. That was like, yeah, I wasn't as hyped up, and like it only went so far before Filbert like just gave up, and then LJ was super deprived for I don't know how long.
I know, right? I was talking to him on mic. Remember that, LJ?
Oh, you were?
I stayed
Yes.
up nights.
That I didn't know. I wasn't on mic at that time.
It was interesting. I've never heard LJ more tired.
And then definitely, getting a chance to be second place in the recent comic contest.
Yeah, it's great.
And
Something
I'm
I
probably,
remember.
finishing the epic because I don't think Keeney's finished an epic.
That's actually true.
And I got to finish my first epic ever. So,
Yeah,
Lot
you
of
should
good-
Very
earn another.
nice.
yeah, a lot of good times on BZPower. So,
You should earn another epic, LJ.
I probably will actually.
And you should also finish LJ the Becoming.
All that coming.
Do not combine the two. Just finish LJ the Becoming.
No.
So you can say, that's an accomplishment, I finished LJ the Becoming. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow. But no. Yeah. So that's about it for me.
Lols.
Anyone else got anything?
We need to
I
take out
guess I'll
this
go now.
Wraith.
Affirmative.
That was a very big part of BZP, the raves.
Yes.
Now they get
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
horde mode. Oh man,
Yup. I see what you did there.
Citadel Tower. All right. So I guess I don't know. I think starting at my first comic series was kind of a big moment for me. Like I got a lot of feedback from my first comic and stuff. I got to meet a lot of new people. I wasn't really well known in the forum then, but that basically started me off on all this. Like everything I do now comes from that one moment. TTV included, because the comic maker interview and all that. The duel was another one. Like even though I didn't win, seriously speaking, I did have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it was
It was
very enjoyable, and
Yeah.
we both got a
Like,
lot of
even like the
publicity.
fans. Yeah, the fans really enjoyed it too. Both me and LJ. Everybody just got into it. It was like the good thing. It wasn't like a really fierce competition. It wasn't like a flame war or anything. It was a friendly competition, but it was a very fierce friendly competition. If you know what I mean.
It was exactly
It
what
was-
I wanted it to be, because it was actually someone else's idea who I cannot mention, and
Lols.
I kind of wanted to go forth with that, and I kind of also wanted to get to know more of the newer comic makers, like Kahi, who was newer at the time, and I think it worked out real well.
It
Y'all.
did. It was amazing.
You should have another one.
Such.
Nope,
Nope.
I will never participate in another comic duel.
Come on, man. You have to.
Yeah, you
What,
should.
what about like Itsuka?
Lols.
Okay, but I
You
guess
don't
like,
actually have
I
to
see
do
there's
it
three,
with
right?
the
Everyone needs
scale that the other two were. You could always do it less
We'll see.
large.
Yeah,
We'll
like a
see.
private. We could like live stream it this time. Anyhow, I think the
Live
third one,
stream,
I guess,
that's
would
excellent.
probably be
That would be a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
We could do it like a Makuta Fest, but the comic maker duel.
actually I'll think about that. Doing that sometime. Let's see, last one. I guess the interview that I did here was pretty cool, and then led up to me actually joining the place and being on here for God knows how long. Now, how long has it been? Like over a year? It
Probably
feels so
nearing
short.
a year
but,
or
like,
over a year at
yeah.
at this time.
No,
yeah.
it was in December. I remember like the thing was in December, right? Yeah, it's been over a year now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah,
Time flies.
the interview was fun to do, and like joining TTV and all that was really great too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something I never really experienced before, talking to someone on mic, talking to someone on the internet on the microphone.
Yup.
It was a new experience, but it was interesting.
Now
I'm
it has
glad I did
become
it.
commonplace.
I know, right? Before this, like, not a lot of people were on Skype as far as comic makers go,
That is
Yeah.
true.
and now there's a lot of. So, anyway, I think that's about it for me. Starting the ICC was a big step for me. Some people might debate whether it was a good one, but for me, it was enjoyable at the time.
It was in the beginning, but now it's not because
Now it's just stagnated.
you guys
the,
are
like-
actually quite dumb
Why?
peoples now.
You're
Well,
quite
let's
people in the
let-
NWI.
let's
At
not
least
start
we're
this.
still
Let's not
alive.
start this.
My comics are better than your comics. No, anyway.
Yes.
Well, my. Anyhow, yep, that about wraps it up for me, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really. I guess Foresight was never one that was cool, but I never finished it. So, yeah.
Yeah, what do
Take
you
that
think,
as you
Elena?
will.
You're a piece of crap.
I did get mad. That was interesting.
Yeah, what do you think, Alina? What do you think about this subject that we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes that you probably haven't been paying attention to at all?
She
Before
has,
nope.
because she said stuff
Come on.
to you.
Okay, fail me now. Give me 4 nope. Come on, Elena. Come on.
What about your favorite events that happened on BZPower?
Y'all.
Yeah. Also,
I was just asking you, what are your favorite opinions?
speak up a bit, please.
It's fun.
I don't really have too many. BZPower was never a main point of interest for me,
Yeah. I can understand that.
and I know all of the stuff you guys mentioned, and I didn't really find any of them really interesting event-wise.
You never found any of the Randy Elliott or Lee Gallagher interviews interesting
Did you guys?
at all?
I don't
You were in the
think
Dark
s-
709 interview.
Yeah.
Joining TTV wasn't that interesting.
Not anymore.
Nothing at all
Wow.
was interesting to you at all.
Okay.
Glad to know that.
You know, like
we're
meeting
such
all your friends online and none of it? Okay.
No,
You know,
Alina was on board with IBZP when the ship sunk. That's
Yeah,
an accomplishment.
you know,
Me,
what
her,
about
and LJ.
well, what about meeting me and Meso and VAR?
And Var.
Oh,
And Var, Snickers.
And Var. Meeting Var.
Because that was a good moment in her life.
And Keeney, and also Var. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Especially
that's
Keeney.
what Brittany wanted to say. Especially with Keeney.
I can get that. Like, with us, we've been enthralled in so many lolsy fads. And if you're not really in that kind of stuff, I
But,
can understand.
but nothing interesting in the slightest? Are you serious? Nothing at all.
Or nope.
Not really. I didn't really
Oh my
have
God.
too many
All right.
interesting
Listen
events
up,
on
I-
BZPower outside of meeting new people.
oh wow! Wow! I did not think I'd hear that, honestly.
Lols. But yeah. Alright. Well.
I wish Keeney was here, so then we can mention something that happened.
I'm
since
glad
I-
he isn't here.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay, for you, Elena.
Alright, well. This has been
That was
interesting.
interesting.
Yep. You should go check out favorite moments on BZP in the general discussion forum and leave your thoughts and opinions on what your favorite moments on BZPower were, audience. So yeah. So
Like,
That was
comment, and
much
subscribe.
Yeah, guys.
Mark, come on, man. So. But yeah, thank you for listening, and that's brought to attention. Bye.
Ah! You piece of slime! Darn you, flea of dogs! Darn you! Ah!
But yeah, now we will now transition into the best segment in the world, the comic maker spotlight.
Well, that's definitely the best segment.
Well, it is.
No, it's not. Don't fool yourself into thinking that.
Alright, well.
Oh my, what? What just happened?
Should we explain to the audience what exactly is going on now? Just in case they're listening and like,
Varn Elger playing Halo Reach.
I would be too if my
It's
TV
not gonna
was
show
not
up in the
gone.
final though, so it doesn't really matter.
You know, doesn't really matter if it does or not, though. I may or may not feel like editing it. You know.
Lazy.
I just wow.
The lazy life of a Messinac.
Oh my god.
LJ's sequel series.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
You're
right.
up.
Okay. Welcome to the Comic Maker Spotlight. Today we are going to be looking actually over an old comic series that is still in the archives, so be prepared to get logged out. We're going to be reviewing The Rise and Fall of the Toa by the Chili God. A little backstory on the Chili God is that he joined in 2003, and in that time has gotten 749 posts. But he kind of dropped out around 2009. So, that's why it's not in the new form. So anyway, Let's dive right into this. He joined on May 30th, but started this series up on June 14th. And this comic series is one of the longest living comics to have gotten so far into the 2001 to 2002 story, with total of 517 comics. He never really got to finish the whole 2001-2002 story, but for what he did have, it is very excellent. Probably his best works have to be his animated comics. Comic 300 in specific. It was completely flash animated with no sprites involved. And it depicted the Toamata's battle with Makuta and
Makuta.
yes, surrounding events.
Yeah, that dude. Remember him?
Oh yeah, he got hit by a planet in the face, and that was him.
Yep. So anyway,
I used to be a conqueror just like you to like took him me to the face.
you know, someone's gonna die here, and it's gonna be the tragic tale of how a lawyer fell from a 30-foot story building.
And then got hit by a
Reading the way I
moon in the
live,
face.
And then got hit by a bus to the face.
A bus, really?
Might have been a
bus.
young Toa of Mangosteen driving the bus at the time.
Lols.
How can you drop me and then hit me on the face on
So-
the land?
Anyway!
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, please shut up, please shut anyway.
So, we're gonna look over his last comic.
Oh no, his
fact-
final one? His final one?
The final
No!
he ever made
No!
comic.
He's made more in our hearts and souls. Go ahead.
Comic. Chapter 10, comic 53. In this comic, it has a Nua, and he's talking
Ugh,
a Matoran.
Nua.
The very
Matoran.
basics of what you need to know for this series is you got the Toamata, you got all the normal Matoran that you see, and and the Turaga. Then you got the Chosen Ones, which are basically BZPower members. And then you have, the quote-unquote the gods of the series, like the Chili God and the Pepper God or something.
Oh no.
I blame you for that death, Mesa.
So yeah, in this comic, he's talking. Anua's dreaming about his amazing rescue of Matanui, which didn't happen.
Yep.
As he single-handedly fought off the Barag and Liwa with the Krana, and won over the heart of Gali in the face of evil Kohatsu, etc., etc. And it's hilarious. You gotta really read the comic. It is somewhat story-based, because it's based off the story of Bionicle. So you kind of do have to look back and see a bunch of the older comics to get a couple of references. But there are some things that you don't need to look back to get. Like when Nuparu comes in with the boxer.
Little boxer.
Yeah, he says, I'm a poet. I'm not a poet, I'm an inventor. But here's a name, a simple name you'd be able to understand. I call it Boxer. And then you got little Tepu there going, suit yourself, I prefer briefs.
Wow.
It's witty little comments like
Actually,
that.
that is kind of
What is
funny.
that?
It's
Quite.
To say the least.
So it's witty little things like that that make this series very fun to read. An enjoyable series indeed. Graphics-wise, in the first few comics, it was absolutely horrendous. You would bleed your eyes out.
It's not nice.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not
Well,
nice,
the
but the
truth-
truth
You're
hurts.
a jerk.
It's not
Jerk.
nice, but the truth hurts. And I think even...
Oh look, I forgot jerk is censored on BZPower.
Don't matter. So is YouTube. Anyway, go ahead.
So... It is a very enjoyable series. Graphically, as it got into its later years, at least. It was...
Yeah.
You could really appreciate it, because there were a lot of flash effects. Maybe GIMP, but I highly doubt it. Seemed more like
The blast he does it to Earth, very well done. It's not like super photorealistic, but it's not like, horrendously MS Paint either.
it fits the
blast done is well
style.
done.
It fits the
does.
style, which is what it is asked. So it's an enjoyable series.
That's the truth. I've been reading a couple comics and it's lolzy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read the whole series in reverse order.
Yeah, you do that. But I'd personally say that his crowning achievement would easily be Comic 300, which was entirely flash animated, and it was about 3 to 4 minutes long, I'd say.
I agree, actually, from what I've read at least.
So it's a really enjoyable series. So humor-wise, it's very witty. A lot of
Witty.
Yep. Witty. And it's very enjoyable in that aspect. It has a lot of wit, but it also has a lot of slapstick, especially concerning Tahu. A fun little fact, this comic series actually inspired a lot of comic series that people might remember, like Legends of the Matorn by Fury, Mask of Humor by Cyber KN, and whatever the Karzani that one comic series was made by that one chosen one of Bionicle guy.
Lols.
I know he actually listens
here.
to this podcast and asked about the spotlight. I'm sorry, dude. I mentioned you, and
Y'all, because he is a cool bro and professional at everything he does.
so anyway. So yeah, it was very nice. The only downside is that it is still currently in the archive. So you'd have to go back to the archive to find it. And Mesa will probably link it in the description, but
Yup.
it's ridiculous.
I agree. The archive itself is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'd say for this series, it is worth it. So that's about it. I don't have much else to say, unless I should mimic myself from the comic contest coverage. Alina, what do you think of this comic series?
Oh my god.
What?
Never mind.
I mean, that's becoming the new Lita cash prize.
Continue on. Keep it
Oh my
going
God.
seamlessly.
Oh
We
my.
have to understand anything. What about you, Meso or Var?
Well,
What do you
I'm
guys
still
have to
reading.
say?
I have not read a good enough deal of the comics to actually get a read on the series in general. But from what I've seen, which includes his Flash animation, several of his later comics, I believe I've read up to like 5 comics in from his last comic because I'm reading them in reverse order. And I love it. I think it's funny. I like the style. And I think it holds up pretty well even against like comics from nowadays, which is always a good thing.
Very.
So,
Yeah, I got the rare chance to talk to him via instant messenger, and I asked why he stopped, and it was due to lack of interest. And
when did you talk to him?
Like sometime 2009, 2010.
Get him on the podcast.
Or you never know. You never know. You might gain interest. Nostalgia has a way of working itself into.
Yeah.
You know.
I know the one thing that I said before the podcast, LJ, about this comic series was that I really kind of miss the very simplistic look that the comics used to have.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad. It looks good, but at the same time, it's really simple and there's not much going on. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I really miss it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I still have like 480 something comics to go. Ha 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 ha.
Wow.
Anyway.
So,
For me, I like his style. Like how everything's
Definitely.
Flash based. His
Yes.
backgrounds are, his backgrounds, his effects, everything is based on Flash. Gives it a very unique visual style, and everything's better to read. The text effects he uses is very good too. Like he uses different fonts for all the characters. Very nice touch.
mhm. Absolutely.
That's actually one of my
Very
favorite
easy
things.
to read and yeah. Especially Kopaka's, like white text is so hard to get sometimes, and he does it very well.
Absolutely. He definitely holds his own unique style.
Y'all.
Shame that he's no longer active because I think when was the last comic that parodied this sort of thing?
Coobs
Yes.
in one of Bionicle's comics.
Y'all.
Yeah.
That was the last one. And
Wait.
he did do his best to try and mimic this. I don't know if he still has them up, although with the recent changes to the revival limit, I think it's definitely possible. But I don't know. It is it's a fair comic series in its own right, and that it tries to go off what Chili God did here, but it's not up to par with this.
If only it was possible to move topics, like several topics for really big comic series that, since no longer needs to be revived, so you can actually post in this thing now. Now it's just
Oh,
like you can
definitely,
just
that'd
read
be
it, that's
excellent.
it.
But they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, no,
Sadly enough.
shame.
Oh yeah.
Some series which we lost the time.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not very often I review old comics like this. So next week I will be doing another older comic series that kinda was around the time of this, and it's one of my personal favorites. And I don't have a lot of favorites. So hope you've enjoyed the Comic Maker Spotlight. That about sums it up. Go check out in the archives The Rise and Fall of the Toa by the Chili God, and we'll snicker with you next week.
Yes, I agree.
Yay!
That's the Comic Maker Spotlight.
Hooray!
Yay! Hooray! Comic Maker Spotlight! Yay!
And now it's time for the
Hooray!
segment we've all been waiting for. The outro.
Yeah! Wait. Yeah! I have one question, though, if I may.
Yes.
Go.
Sure.
For the listeners, I have a favor to ask of you people. We've kind of been wondering what people like about certain aspects of the podcast. So, if you'd be so kind to post in the comments below or post in our topic on BZPower, we'd like to know what part of the podcast you enjoy the most and what part of the podcast you do not enjoy the most. Feedback really would help the podcast, and we, would like to make this a more enjoyable listening experience for you. So, let us know what you think.
LJ, while every single thing you said is appreciated and true, I have a sad thing to inform you of.
Oh no, what have I done?
No, nothing. It's just telling people important things at the very end of an episode doesn't usually produce a great turnout.
Okay, then you can edit it in the beginning of the episode.
I am not finished.
Um,
Case in point, quiz the whiz. I haven't
Wow,
gotten
just
one
wow.
single question for that.
Neither have I. But then again, I wasn't supposed to.
Y'all. So, y'all, if anyone is listening to this long, do exactly what he said. It would be very appreciated, and we would give you nothing but our eternal gratitude.
and
And a
maybe
better
some,
podcast.
and maybe some prizes at Makuta Fest, but depends on if you work for your prizes.
But Thank you for listening. If it, do what he said, if you heard him say to do what he requests of you, it would be much appreciated. And I thank you for listening and your viewership and like, comment, rate, subscribe. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Mesto, you can't rate anymore if you like.
Shut up. They can rate in their hearts. Anyway.
Oh, okay,
what about
whatever.
the names? The names, yo.
Yes.
We're doing that.
Thank you for listening. I'm Messinac.
I'm Barteran.
I'm LJ.
I'm
I'm
Elena.
Kahi.
And this was TTV episode 27. Thanks and goodbye.